Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video we are on the Pyromancer. We are going to be playing with Damnator, Spire of Shadows. It gives us the Dark Swarm as well as the Gathering Shadows abilities. We are going to be looking at focusing on Gathering Shadows. It does seem to be the most powerful skill in this weapon, so we are going to accompany it with Adaptive Empowerment. So we are going to get 3 other fire skills as well as Arcane Power, so 60% increased damage over there. Generalist is one of the fire skills is going to be Chromatic Bolt, so Generalist will give us quite a lot of damage increase as well. Unexpected Arsenal, so we can try and find Heat Explosion, and then Weapon Expert to get the Gathering Shadows from the start, and Multicast Mastery. So let's get straight into it. The Caves of Delzog. We are going to move away from the left corner. We don't want to activate the event. And then the Pyromancer's special ability, or his passive, he gathers, he concentrates on gathering essence, I guess we'll call it. And what happens is eventually when it reaches the top, he summons, or he gets a portal which you walk into, which then summons the Draconic Flame, which is like fire bats, and these will then cause damage as well as inflict melting onto the enemies, and melting just reduces their armor. So very, very strong for high curse, or for high endless cycles or overlord cycles as well. Now the other thing is, in his actual skill tree, he does get a bonus over there where you get fire shield for free. So he does summon 20 fire shields around him over, I think, every like 15 seconds or something, and that is very strong. There it is over there. You get 20 fire orbs every 10 seconds, and they deal a decent chunk of damage as well. So this is the passive over there. The first time it spawns is at 100 kills. We do have to just check if obviously you can't gather more of it while you actually have the passive running, so we got to keep that in mind as well. We do want to try and grab ourselves as much multicast, cast frequency, as well as some other things, but I don't seem to be getting the skills that I want over here. We don't actually want fire. Oh, the firewall is quite strong, we can keep it, but we are also looking for some other skills. We'll just grab Meteor Shower for now. It will be replaced in the future. Definitely not a skill we will be using. Meteor Shower used to be very, very strong back in the day, but right now it is quite weak, so we don't really want it. I could have banished the armor over there. That probably would have been a good idea, and I'm not sure what I was thinking. I wasn't. And now we have to take something. So for now we will just take the light beam. We are going to be swapping these out, ladies and gentlemen. We do need Chromatic Bolt as well as some other things. Obviously grabbing ourselves the light beam will make our beginning of the run a lot easier, and we will go from there. But hopefully we can find something. Area of effect on fire should be alright. Crit is going to be very good over here. We don't want Mart. If Mart was fire, then that would have worked out pretty well, but it isn't. We're going to keep going for some crit over here because we're already on 65%. There's Chromatic Bolt, so we can actually replace the Meteor Shower. That is a fire skill, so it works fantastically. And then grab some more area of effect over there. If the crit was the 10%, so the uncommon, we would have grabbed that over the area of effect. But 10% area of effect can be quite big, especially for our Gathering Shadows. So that's the reasoning why I didn't take it. Right, we're just gonna push forward, get ourselves as much XP as possible, and hopefully we can kill enough enemies to have our passive up. We didn't, so that's a bit of a not a problem, but a bit of a letdown, I guess you could say. Would have been nice to have had our passive up to be able to have used. We go for damage on that, some multicast there. Hypothermia is fantastic, which also means we should go and grab a slow from somewhere so that we can grab rockets. So there we go, that's fantastic. Our passive did come up now as well, so we've got the melting in effect as well, and you can see as soon as you do reduce the armor and add a little bit of brittle in there, that is fantastic. So if you wanted for yourselves, keep light beam. It is very, very strong, as you all know. Although it has been nerfed a couple of times, it is still very, very strong to use. Also, I am on the alpha patch, so as you could see, we did already pick up a hypothermia, and what's happened is you are able to now pick up multiple of the same synergy skills. So you can pick up another hypothermia over here. All it does is means that now you have more fragility and slow conversion rating. Nothing else really changed with it. You don't deal more damage because of it. You just get more fragility stacks whenever whenever it converts slow to fragility. One slow will now convert to 2 fragility stacks, as far as I know. I could be wrong there. You can let me know down in the comments section if I am misunderstanding it, but otherwise that is how my thought pattern works for it, and that's how it should be. Or I don't know, I'll have to speak to the devs and leave a comment down below. I'll pin a comment saying that's how it works. That will be a lot easier, I think, actually. So we'll do that and we will go from there. But now we're still looking for some more skills. Maybe I need to banish a couple of them so that we can get more going for us. But grab a bit of movement speed over there. I would like to not have light beam, but as you can see, it is quite difficult to not grab it. But it is what it is. You can't always, with the game being somewhat RNG with some of the skills, you can't get the exact build every single time unless you land up taking reroll, the reroll rune, and you're able to reroll a lot more. And or if I banished some of the other skills that would have been like the chaos skills that we get and things like that. Like if I went and banished chaotic infernal, now it won't be there again, so there is a higher chance of us seeing one like heat explosion now. So that's one way of doing it, but again, only having 5 banishes. I am waiting for the day where we get like a re-banish or a banish reroll mastery rune or something like that, where you get a free banish like every 20 levels or something. I don't know, it needs to be balanced, because being able to banish things is very, very powerful in this game. Getting exactly the build you want can be like disgustingly strong. So, you know, having a lot of banishes isn't really fair in a sense. Alright, we do have our passive up, but I am going to keep it for another 100 enemies, just so that we do have it to pop on the bosses. Having that extra melting again, just too strong. Reduced armor on bosses is a fantastic thing to have, and when they are clumped, it's even better, because then we get to deal even more damage to them altogether with the Draconic Flame. So we'll see at the end of the game. I don't think Draconic Flame is going to do too much like extra damage, if we want to put that into words. So I mean, its damage isn't going to be amazing, but the utility that the passive brings, you know, the Pyromancer, especially if you have the heat explosion as a skill, it's very, very good, because heat explosion works off of you know, melting and things like that. So his third weapon, I believe it was, or second weapon, are very, very, very strong with melting, so his passive is going to work fantastic with that. Okay, area of effect is good on Shadow. Again, we're not looking for these fire skills. As you can see, we are seeing more of them now though, because we have been banishing some skills. So we've banished everything, we don't have any more banishes. Still waiting for it, but like I said, light beam is fantastic to have here. Unfortunately, not being a fire skill, we do lose 20% damage to our gathering shadows, as well as our dark swarm. Just gotta try and maneuver here. Alright, perfect. Okay, we are on 100% crit now. We can start working on our crit chance if we wanted. We don't need to go over 100% crit. it's not really that necessary. We are going to go for cast frequency instead of damage, and I could have gone for cast frequency on light beam, but I've still got some hope that in the next couple of levels we will get something that allows us to replace it. Like anything at this point, maybe I should have gone for firebolt or something, and just taken it for the sake of, you know, the extra damage. Although I do know it's like cutting my nose off in spite of my face, because light beam is a lot stronger in this context. But you know, I really wanted the rune to I really wanted it to be 3 fire, 2 shadow, and then the arcane power. That was the original thought, but obviously things don't always work out that way, and I'm not gonna go for meteor. I'm sorry guys, it's just that's a huge downgrade in every possible way. So here we go, damage increase for fire, and we can actually grab the movement speed over here and cast frequency for arcane power. So unfortunately the build didn't go exactly as planned, but that is one of the best things about the game. You know, if you don't get a certain item, you can still be very, very strong, even without it, which is really, really cool to see. But I do think that the brittle has made this a lot stronger than it would have otherwise been. If you look at the amount of time it has taken us to actually even just beat this run, that is a lot faster than some of the other you know, skills that we have used. I do think that the hypothermia that we picked up is a very big influence in this as well. Hypothermia is a huge buff to have got, and if we landed up getting something like exposed weakness, it would have been even stronger. So, you know, kudos to hypothermia as well as the draconic flame. But there we go, 7 minutes 42 seconds. Look, it's not speed run material, but that was an insanely decent run, especially without, you know, getting everything that we wanted. So very, very cool, very strong, and that's just a really good wrap. Let's see what our Gathering Storm did. I think, yep, it is definitely there in terms of the most amount of damage. So Gathering Storm, very, very strong. We do have our Draconic Flame doing 4 million damage. That was more than Chromatic Bolt, which is really, really good. And then obviously the Fiery Protection dealing 350,000 damage. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.